Don't come home tonight. I'm having a friend over and need privacy with him, she texted. I said, no problem. Went to a hotel and called a divorce lawyer. Filed the next day. She came home that evening to find all my things gone and divorce papers on the table. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I think the worst part wasn't the cheating. It was the logistics. It was the casual, administrative way she tried to schedule her affair, like she was booking a dentist appointment or rescheduling a delivery. She didn't even have the decency to sneak around. She just expected me to facilitate it. My name is Mark. I'm 32, work in logistics, ironically, and for the last 7 years, I have been what you might call a high-functioning doormat. Jenna is 30. When we met, she was vibrant, chaotic, and exciting. I was the rock. I was the guy who remembered to pay the electric bill, the guy who made sure the car had oil, the guy who funded the lifestyle she felt she deserved. Over the years, that dynamic shifted. I stopped being the rock and started becoming the staff. The erosion of respect was slow. It started with small things. She'd forget my birthday, then laugh it off saying she's bad with dates. She'd invite her friends over and make me stay in the den because I killed the vibe. Then came Kyle. Kyle was the new guy at her marketing firm. You know the type. 26, drives a leased BMW he can't afford, talks about hustle culture, and has the emotional depth of a puddle. For the last 3 months, Kyle was all I heard about. Kyle is so misunderstood. Kyle has such a visionary mind. Kyle thinks you're really stable, Mark. That's sweet. Stable. The way she said it sounded like an insult. Like I was a piece of furniture she'd outgrown, but was too lazy to haul to the curb. It all came to a head on a Friday. I had put in a 60-hour week. My back was killing me, and all I wanted was to order Thai food, sit on my couch, and watch a movie with my wife. I texted her around 4 p.m. Hey, leaving work early. Thinking pad Thai and a movie? I miss you. Read at 4:02 p.m. No reply. I was driving past the grocery store when my phone buzzed again at 4:45 p.m. I pulled over to check it, expecting a list of groceries she wanted me to pick up. Instead, I got the text. I stared at the screen for so long the backlight timed out and went dark. I had to tap it to wake it up, just to make sure I hadn't hallucinated the words. Don't come home tonight until late. Kyle is having a crisis and needs me. I need privacy with him to talk him through it. He's in a really bad place, and I can't have you hovering around making it awkward. Go see a movie or something. I'll let you know when it's safe to come back. I read it 3 times. First, the audacity of the command, don't come home. My name is on the deed. I pay the mortgage. I pay the utilities that keep the lights on and the AC running. Second, the gaslighting. Kyle is having a crisis. Right. A crisis that requires my absence and total privacy in my home on a Friday night. Third, the dismissal. Go see a movie or something. Like I was a child getting sent to his room so the adults could talk. Something inside me snapped. It wasn't a loud snap. It wasn't a scream. It was the sound of a heavy cable finally shearing under years of tension. It was a quiet, metallic ping in the center of my chest. For years, I had made excuses for her. She's stressed. She's spirited. She just needs space. But looking at those words, I can't have you hovering, I realized I wasn't her husband. I was an obstacle. I was the landlord she was sleeping with to keep rent cheap, and now she wanted the landlord to vacate the premises so she could entertain a new tenant. I didn't cry. I didn't call her screaming. I didn't drive to where she was. I typed 2 words. No problem. Send. I put the car in gear. But I didn't go to the movies. I went to the bank. I have a friend who went through a messy divorce a few years ago, and he gave me one piece of advice that I never thought I'd use. If you know it's over, don't telegraph your move. Execute it. I walked into the branch and withdrew exactly 50% of our joint savings. Not a penny more, not a penny less. I transferred it to a personal account she didn't have access to. It was a significant amount, enough to float me for 6 months if needed. Then I drove home. I knew I had a window. Jenna gets off work at 5 o'clock. She usually hits a happy hour or goes to the gym before coming home. If she was meeting Kyle, they were probably grabbing a pre-crisis drink to build the tension. That gave me maybe 90 minutes. I pulled into the driveway of the house I bought 3 years ago. I looked at the lawn I mowed every Saturday. I looked at the porch swing I installed because she said she wanted a Southern Gothic aesthetic. I walked inside. The house smelled like her perfume and the vanilla candles she bought with my credit card. I didn't smash anything. I didn't cut up her clothes. That's what a crazy person does, and I needed to be the sane one. I needed to be the gone one. I grabbed my 2 large suitcases from the attic. I packed my clothes first. Suits, jeans, gym gear. I cleared my side of the closet and my drawers. Then, I went to the bathroom. Toothbrush, razor, cologne, medications. Then, I went for the petty stuff. The stuff that would make the point clearer than any note ever could. I unplugged the high-end Wi-Fi router I had installed because the ISP one was too slow for her streaming. I packed it. I went to the kitchen. I took the $800 Breville espresso machine she used every morning but never cleaned. I took the grinder. I took the Dyson vacuum cleaner. I took the 65-inch OLED TV from the living room. I left the mount on the wall, looking like a skeleton. I took the PlayStation. I took the Alexa hub she used to play her music. I even took the toilet paper from the master bath. It took me 45 minutes. By the time I was done, the house wasn't just empty of me. It was empty of comfort. It was just a shell with furniture. It looked like a model home that had been robbed. I stood in the kitchen one last time. I took off my wedding band. It felt heavy, like a shackle I hadn't noticed I was wearing. I placed it on the kitchen island, right next to the empty spot where the espresso machine used to be. I didn't have divorce papers yet. It was Friday evening, but I had a notepad. I wrote, "You wanted privacy. You have it. You wanted the house to yourself. It's yours. Don't worry about me hovering. I'm gone. Do not contact me. My lawyer will be in touch on Monday." I propped the note up against her favorite scented candle. I loaded up the SUV. It was packed to the brim. I looked back at the house one last time. It looked dark, unwelcoming. Without the smart lights I had programmed, the porch was pitch black. I got in the car, drove 3 towns over, about 40 minutes away, and checked into a Marriott. I turned off my location sharing. I blocked her on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But I left her number unblocked on my phone. Why? Because I wanted to know when she got home. I wanted to know the exact moment the fantasy of her night with Kyle collided with the reality of what she had done. I ordered a steak from room service, opened a beer, and sat in the silence of the hotel room. It was the first time in years I didn't feel a knot of anxiety in my stomach wondering if I was doing enough to make her happy. I checked my watch. 7:15 p.m. She would be unlocking the door right about now. The phone sat on the nightstand, screen facing up. I took a sip of beer and waited for the fireworks. The phone didn't ring at 7:15. It rang at 7:22 p.m. I stared at the caller ID. Wife. I hadn't changed it yet. A small part of me, the weak part that had spent 7 years trying to please her, wanted to pick up and apologize. I wanted to ask if she was okay. I wanted to fix it. But then I looked at the hotel room ceiling. I remembered the text. "I can't have you hovering." I took a breath, swiped the green button, and put the phone to my ear. I didn't say hello. I just listened. "Mark? Mark, are you insane?" Her voice wasn't sad. It was shrill. It was the voice she used when the waiter brought her the wrong salad dressing. It was pure, unadulterated annoyance. "Where is the TV?" she demanded. Is the coffee maker gone?" "Mark, seriously? You took the router?" "My phone is using data." I sat on the edge of the hotel bed, holding the cold beer bottle. "You wanted privacy, Jenna. I figured you wouldn't want my things hovering around either." "This is childish," she screamed. I could hear the echo in the background. The house sounded empty. I come home after a long week, trying to help a friend through a crisis, and I walk into a looting. "You looted our house." "I took my property," I said calmly. "The things I paid for. The things I use. You have the furniture. You have the bed. You have the house for the night. You have exactly what you asked for. Kyle is here." "Mark," she hissed, lowering her voice, likely trying to shield the visionary from the domestic disaster. "He's standing right here. Do you know how embarrassing this is?" I told him my husband was giving us space, and instead, it looks like I'm being foreclosed on. There's a square of dust on the wall where the TV was. "Put him on," I said. "What?" "Put Kyle on the phone." "I am not." "Put him on, Jenna, or I hang up and block you forever." There was a rustling sound, a muffled argument. I heard her whisper, "Just talk to him. He's having a breakdown." Then, a male voice. Smooth, confused, and trying to sound dominant. Hey man. Look, Mark, right? I think there's been a misunderstanding. I'm just going through some stuff and, Kyle," I interrupted. My voice was level. I'm not coming home. Not tonight, not tomorrow. Jenna sent me a text telling me to leave so she could have privacy with you. So I left. I took my stuff. I emptied the bank account of my share. The house is yours for the weekend. Enjoy the privacy. Oh, and the toilet paper in the master bath? I took that too. Hope you checked before you went. Silence. Wait, Kyle said. The hustle culture bravado was leaking out of his voice. You moved out. I'm filing for divorce on Monday. You guys have a great night. Whoa, Kyle stammered. Dude, I didn't. I'm not. We're just colleagues. I didn't know it was like that. It's exactly like that, I said. Passed the phone back to my wife. More rustling. Jenna came back on, but the tone had shifted. The annoyance was spiked with the first drop of panic. What did you say to him? She snapped. I just clarified the situation. I told him he doesn't have to sneak around. He's the man of the house now. I hope he knows how to fix the water heater. The pilot light goes out if you run the shower too long. Mark, stop it. You're scaring him. You need to come back and bring the router. We can't even watch Netflix. I actually laughed. It was a dark, dry laugh that hurt my chest. Jenna, I'm not tech support anymore. And I'm not your husband anymore. Read the note on the counter. Really read it. I read it. It says you're contacting a lawyer. That's a bluff. You always do this. You get quiet. You sulk. And then you come back and apologize for being passive-aggressive. So just skip to the part where you come home, bring the espresso machine back, and we can talk about your insecurity issues in the morning. She really didn't get it. She was so used to me bending that she couldn't conceive of me breaking. Look at the ring, Jenna, I said. What? The ring. Next to the note. Look at it. Silence. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. You took it off, she whispered. I'm done, Jenna. You didn't just cross a line today. You erased it. Don't come looking for me. Don't call me. I'll see you in court. Mark, wait. I hung up. I didn't block the number immediately. I placed the phone face down on the nightstand. My heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I felt nauseous. I felt terrified. But mostly, I felt light. For the next 3 hours, my phone vibrated against the wood of the nightstand. Buzz. 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 I didn't look. I watched a movie on the hotel TV. A stupid action movie where things exploded and the good guys won. I drank 2 more beers. I took a long, hot shower without anyone banging on the door asking me to move my towel, because it ruined the aesthetic. At 11:30 p.m., the buzzing stopped. I finally picked up the phone. 42 missed calls. 68 text messages. I scrolled through the texts. They told a story all on their own. The evolution of a cheater's collapse. 7:30 p.m., you are being a child. Come home now. 7:42 p.m., Kyle is really uncomfortable. You are ruining his night. This is so selfish. 8:05 p.m., stop ignoring me. Pick up. 8:15 p.m., okay, fine. Stay at a hotel. See if I care. But bring the Wi-Fi back tomorrow. 9 p.m., Kyle left. Thanks a lot. He said this was too heavy for him. Are you happy? You chased away my only friend. 9:30 p.m., Mark, please pick up. I'm alone in the house, and it's really quiet. 10:15 p.m., I didn't mean it like that. The text, I just phrased it badly. I was stressed. 10:45 p.m., why is your ring on the counter? Mark, this isn't funny anymore. 11:15 p.m., where are you? I'm scared. 11:20 p.m., I love you. Please come home. I stared at the last text. I love you. She didn't love me. She loved the safety I provided. She loved the Wi-Fi. She loved the coffee I made. She loved having a punching bag that would never hit back. But she didn't love me. If she loved me, she wouldn't have invited another man into our sanctuary and told me to get lost. I didn't reply. I turned the phone off completely. I slept better that night than I had in 5 years. The weekend was a blur of strange, quiet peace. I woke up Saturday morning in the hotel. My instinct was to jump out of bed and start cleaning, or go pick up croissants from that bakery Jenna liked, the one with the line out the door. Then I remembered. I didn't have to do anything. I ordered room service pancakes. I went to the hotel gym. I sat by the pool and read a book. I turned my phone on briefly on Saturday afternoon. A barrage of notifications. She had called my parents. Mom, Mark, Jenna called crying. She says you abandoned her? What is going on? I sent my mom a screenshot of Jenna's original text. Don't come home tonight. Need privacy with him. My mom replied 1 minute later. Stay at the hotel. Dad and I love you. Jenna didn't know it yet, But the isolation was spreading. She had tried to paint me as the villain, the unstable husband who snapped. But the evidence was digital, and it was damning. Sunday night, I sat down at the desk in the hotel room and organized my finances. I calculated my net worth, my assets, and what I was willing to lose to get free. I realized something. I was willing to lose the house. I was willing to lose the furniture. I was willing to lose the status of being a married man. The only thing I wasn't willing to lose was my dignity. I had retrieved it from the trash on Friday afternoon, and I wasn't giving it back. Monday morning, 9 a.m. I walked into the law office of a woman named Sarah, a divorce attorney my friend had recommended. She was sharp, terrifying, and expensive. I sat down, slid the screenshot of the text across the desk, and told her everything. She looked at the text, then at me. In this state, Sarah said, infidelity doesn't always impact the division of assets heavily. However, abandonment of the marital home can be tricky if we don't frame it right. I didn't abandon it, I said. I was evicted. Written notice. I tapped the text. Sarah smiled. It was a shark smile. Fair enough. What do you want, Mark? I want a clean break. We sell the house, split the equity. No alimony. She makes as much as I do. And I want no contact. Done, Sarah said. We can file today. We can have her served by Wednesday. Do it, I said. I left the office feeling 10 pounds lighter. I walked to my car, shielding my eyes from the sun. I turned my phone on. A voicemail from Jenna, timestamped 20 minutes ago. I played it. Her voice was cracked, broken. She sounded like she hadn't slept. Mark, please. I went to work today, and I felt sick. Everyone is asking where you are. I told them you're on a business trip. Please don't tell people what happened. We can fix this. I'll block Kyle. I'll do whatever you want. Just come home. The house it feels dead without you. It wasn't an apology for hurting me. It was a plea to stop her own discomfort. She wanted the staff back because the mansion was crumbling. I deleted the voicemail. I wasn't going home, but I did have one more stop to make before I disappeared completely. I needed to pick up the rest of my mail and close the final loop. I drove toward the house at 11:30 a.m. I knew Jenna would be at work. She never missed a Monday. She had a team meeting at 10 a.m. that she claimed was the linchpin of the company's success. The house looked the same from the outside, but walking up the path, it felt alien. It was just wood and brick now. The emotional mortar held nothing together. I used my key. I half expected her to have changed the locks, but that would require effort and logistics, two things Jenna outsourced to me. Inside, the silence was heavy. The air was stale. I walked to the kitchen. My ring was exactly where I left it on the island, though it had been moved slightly, as if she had picked it up and put it back down. The note was gone. In its place was a new note, written on her heavy, cream-colored stationery. Mark, please don't throw 7 years away over one stupid text. I was overwhelmed. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Please just talk to me. Love, Jay. Overwhelmed. The catch-all excuse. I didn't touch the note. I went to the small home office in the back. I grabbed the file box with our tax returns, the deed, and my passport. I checked the mail slot, mostly bills addressed to me. I took them. I was walking out when I saw it. On the dining table, there was a framed photo of us from our honeymoon in Maui. It was face down. I flipped it over. The glass was cracked, right over my face. She hadn't just been sad. She'd been furious. That crack in the glass told me everything I needed to know about her remorse. She wasn't sorry she hurt me. She was angry I had revoked her access to me. I left the house, locking the door behind me. I tossed the keys through the mail slot. A final surrender of access. 2 days later, she was served. I didn't see it happen, but my lawyer, Sarah, gave me the play-by-play. A process server caught her walking into her office building. Public. Humiliating. Undeniable. The reaction was instantaneous. My phone, which I had kept on silent, lit up like a slot machine. Jenna, divorce? Are you serious? You're serving me at work? Jenna, this is insane. You're destroying us over nothing. Jenna, I'm going to fight you on everything. You want a war? You got one. The sad, remorseful wife act had lasted exactly 48 hours. Now, the real Jenna was back, the one who needed to win. I forwarded the text to Sarah. Add these to the file, I wrote. The next 3 months were a masterclass in the find-out phase of fuck around. Since I had drained half the savings and stopped paying the bills for the house I wasn't living in, Jenna's reality check hit her bank account first. She couldn't afford the mortgage, the car lease, and her lifestyle on a single income. She frantically tried to get me to pay temporary support, but Sarah shut it down. Your client evicted my client from the marital home to facilitate an extramarital affair, Sarah told her lawyer. He is not obligated to subsidize the venue of his own betrayal. Jenna's lawyer, a tired-looking man who clearly wasn't getting paid enough for her drama, advised her to settle. We agreed to sell the house. I saw her one time during the process. We had to meet with the realtors to sign the listing agreement. I walked into the conference room. I was wearing a suit, not because I had to, but because I wanted to look sharp. I had lost 15 pounds since leaving. I was sleeping better. I looked like a man who had his life back. Jenna looked frayed. Her roots were showing. Her outfit was wrinkled. She looked like someone who had been trying to hold water in her hands for 90 days. When I sat down, she wouldn't look at me. Mark, the realtor said, sliding a document across the table. We just need a signature here. I signed. Jenna. She stared at my signature. Then she looked up at me. Her eyes were red-rimmed. How can you be so cold? She whispered. Did I mean nothing to you? The realtor looked uncomfortable and pretended to check her phone. I capped my pen. You meant everything to me, Jenna. That's why it worked. But the minute you sent that text, you told me exactly what I meant to you. I was an inconvenience. And I solved that problem for you. I removed the inconvenience. Don't, I said softly. Don't rewrite it. You invited another man into our bed. You told me to leave so you could do it. The only tragedy here is that you picked a guy who ran away the second things got real. Her face went pale. The mention of Kyle was a low blow, but necessary. He didn't run away, she lied. I ended it. Sure, I said. That's why he's posting stories with a 22-year-old fitness instructor in Cabo right now. I have mutual friends, Jenna. She flinched as if I'd slapped her. I stood up. Sell the house. Send me my check. Goodbye, Jenna. I walked out. I didn't look back. The house sold quickly. The market was hot. We split the equity 50/50ths. It was a nice chunk of change, enough for a down payment on a condo in the city, closer to my work, closer to the nightlife I had avoided for years because Jenna hated the noise. Jenna didn't fare as well. Because she had refused to downsize her lifestyle while the divorce was pending, she had racked up significant credit card debt. Her half of the equity went almost entirely to paying off Visa and her lawyer. She moved into a rental apartment. A downgrade, as she would have called it. I heard through the grapevine that she tried to spin the story. She told people I was abusive, that I was controlling, that I abandoned her during a mental health crisis. But the text message, that damn text message, I never posted it publicly. I didn't have to. I just showed it to the 3 or 4 key people in our social circle who asked me what happened. She sent me this. I did what she asked. The rumor mill did the rest. People aren't stupid. They know that I need privacy with him isn't code for a book club. Friends she thought were hers slowly drifted away. They didn't want to be around the drama. They didn't want to choose sides. But when one side is a quiet guy rebuilding his life and the other is a chaotic woman screaming about victimhood while dating 3 guys in a month, the choice makes itself. 6 months after the divorce was final, I was at a coffee shop downtown. A new place, not the one with the line. I was waiting for a date. A woman named Sarah, not my lawyer, thankfully. She was a pediatrician, kind, laughed at my jokes, and never once asked me to leave my own home. I was sipping my black coffee when I saw her. Jenna. She was in line, arguing with the barista. I said oat milk. This is almond. I can taste the difference. Do you know who I am? She looked tired. Harder. The chaotic energy that used to be fun now just looked bitter. She turned and saw me. She froze. She looked at my suit. She looked at the calm, easy way I was sitting. She looked at the lack of a ring on my finger. For a second, I thought she was going to come over. I saw her take a step. Then, the door opened. My date, Sarah, walked in. She was glowing, smiling. She walked right up to me, kissed me on the cheek, and sat down. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare, Sarah said, beaming. No problem, I said, smiling at her. You're worth the wait. I looked up. Jenna was watching us. She looked at Sarah, who was beautiful, successful, and clearly happy to be there. And then she looked back at me. The realization hit her face like a physical blow. The realization that I wasn't just gone. I was better. She wasn't the main character anymore. She was just an extra in the background of a scene she used to direct. She grabbed her almond milk latte, put her head down, and walked out the door. I turned back to Sarah. Who was that? Sarah asked, glancing at the door. Nobody, I said. Just someone I used to know. I never heard from Jenna again. I kept the screenshot of the text, though. I keep it in a hidden folder on my phone. Not to hurt myself, but to remind myself. To remind myself that self-respect is a quiet thing. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It just packs a bag, says, no problem, and walks out the door. And it never, ever looks back. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.